What's up, D fam? Welcome back to the greatest Houston-based podcast in the world, the Weekly D Podcast. I'm your host, Danny G, and today we got a very special guest, a Weekly D Podcast legend. Some would call him a pod daddy after he created so many podcasts with Paper Plate Media. Please allow me to welcome our special guest, Mr. Kyle Austin.
What's going on, guys? Long time no talk. For those of you who I haven't heard from and or seen and or talked to in a long time, it's really nice to maybe not hear you, but to be able to speak to you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. Well, it's what's going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. It's awesome. First of all, it's awesome to have you back on the Weekly D. You have been very missed.
Oh,
you know.
well, I appreciate that.
To be honest, you were like one of my favorite co-hosts because you really helped me level up and kind of define what I wanted the Weekly D podcast to be. And I just gotta say, without you, I couldn't have pushed it as far as I have. So I really appreciate that, and I just want to say thank you right off the bat.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I genuinely appreciate that. It was a fun. We did it like almost 3 years.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah. I mean, I can't believe it. Like, starting off as a fan of the show initially, and then moving on from a fan to a co-host, and then jumping off and kind of hearing things from the outside in. It's definitely different. You know what I mean? Like, you get used to that whole thing for your whole life, and then all of a sudden it's just not a part of your life anymore. It's like, what happened? Like, where it just I don't know. It feels like it's a good memory, but it's a memory nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, it was such a fun ride, and like I said, like when I brought you on, I was like, man, I know Kyle's a fan of the show. I know how he knows how it works. Yeah. But I was just like really excited to have a friend that I've known since high school, like to hop on this with me and go on this really fun adventure. And yeah, man, it was really awesome. It was really great. But I mean, how's life been?
Life's been good, man. Like, so I guess to catch you up, it's been 2 years since I've been off the show at this point. Around that. So I guess to update you, I got a house. I think that was probably the last update I actually made. Was I had gotten a house and I was on the path to basically moving back to Texas from Kentucky. And yeah, we made that happen. We moved home, my wife and I, and my dog, Balto. We lived here for a year. We live out in northwest Houston, and it's been a blast to be back home. That was one of the biggest things about being far away is, and those who have lived out of state can really understand it, or being even just kind of slightly away from home, is the thing that you miss the most is just how quick time flies. Like, you see this, your nieces and your nephews and everything like that. They're growing up, they're having parties, they're getting to know all of the other aunts and uncles and all the other cousins, but they're not knowing who you are. And so I felt like we were missing out on a lot of stuff. And so moving back, I've developed a really good relationship with my niece, all of my nieces actually, and my nephews. And,
Nice.
There's been a lot of like changes. We got another dog. That was pretty cool. She kind of came out of nowhere. She came from basically they found her by Hooters on 45. She was like skinny, and like had patches of hair. And so they were looking to, they couldn't, this family that lives in this neighborhood couldn't take care of them. So they put it up on there, and I jumped on it, and
nice.
It was the first time Yvonne was kind of like on board too. And lo and behold, 2 years later, we've had Bonnie for a little while, and she's like a part of the family. So it's been pretty awesome to have another dog in the family, even though she's kind of a nut and she bothers Balto, who, by the way, is almost 9 years old now.
Whoa.
And so he's getting old. Still acts the exact same, but just not as spry. He can slip a disc every once in a while.
That's scary.
Old man issues, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, man, was just working. I've been really involved back at home, I guess, with my fraternity. I'm working on building some alumni corporation stuff back there, and it's been really nice to kind of reconnect with that piece of my life as well. And outside of that, I mean, that's kind of been my life. It's been weird being a grown-up and an adult.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the things that I I think I realized going through that whole, what, like 3 years of just insanity,
Mm-hmm.
nonstop, every week, when we were kind of going through it, and just craziness, like with
Mm-hmm.
Doge Palooza and the crypto scene and everything else. Like
Yeah.
your boy was, I think, pretty manic. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah.
to you. I think I was going through one of those like unrealistic. Everything is like gonna work out. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be, this is
Yeah.
all gonna like,
It's all gonna find
work
out.
out. Yeah, and we were just all we were just along for the ride to see what was happening. But I felt like, I felt like Kanye and West in a sense, like in
Right.
that, if that makes sense, of just like being like in this unrealistic place in my life, and like
I mean, it
not
was
really
really
knowing where
cool
it's gonna
because I
go.
mean, like the whole Doors Palooza thing, you got to interview Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Like
Super
that was
random.
crazy.
Fun fact, had no idea who she was when I first interviewed her. It's like, ooh, Dion who? But I mean, she's obviously a legend, so that was pretty freaking cool. Probably one of the
Yeah.
best things. Probably one of the biggest A-list celebrities to ever hit the Weekly D, right? At this
Yeah,
point.
Dano.
Yeah,
We
then we
had
had
Dano.
Dano, who, by the
Yeah.
way, is in some controversy.
Oh, is he?
Because he made a corn tortilla quesadilla and wanted to call it a tortilla wrap. Um,
Oh
it's something
no.
stupid, like it's
Yeah.
something dumb.
That's
But
internet controversy.
shout out to homie Dano.
Yeah, shout out to him. You know what's funny is like ever since we had him on, I bought all his seasonings. I was like, I gotta try them. Like we can't just have someone on and not try their product.
Well, now they're here. Now they're
Yeah,
in Texas, so they're everywhere and easily
dude,
accessible,
you
like
can even
Walmart,
find them
Kroger.
at Bucky's.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was at Bucky's the other day. I was like, holy shit, that's Thanos.
The homie Dano is. I feel like it's one of like our most like underrated podcasts too, because I feel like nobody watched that podcast, and it was
Well, it's
such a
'cause
good podcast.
we did it so early on, right?
Yeah,
Like I mean, even like I always think about this. Like when you came on is when we really started interviewing people,
yeah,
and we got kind of heavier on interviewing people and kind of bringing up the talent that we were finding around us.
yeah.
And there's some interviews that I was going back through that I was like, man, these are gold, but they were so early on that it was kind of like hit or miss whether they got views or not.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
there's so many that I'd like to get. Like, I would have loved to talk to Lil Mook again and like get his
yeah,
opinions. If he actually did stuff with the Migos, how he
hmm
felt about Takeoff passing away, and kind of like,
yeah,
if he got a chance to talk to any of the guys after that, or just talking to seeing where people are in their lives at this point. It's just been
hmm
crazy. I mean, I've seen Kyle as like an example to the other. Shout out that boy
yeah,
Kyle. He got to go and do some stuff at Dosey Doe, and he's working on his country album and stuff like that.
hmm
Like, I mean, there's so many really cool artists, and not even just artists, but just people, that
yeah,
we've gotten to meet. And that was one of my favorite things about being part of the Weekly D, I think, was being able to talk to so many like really cool, unique people.
yeah. People
Because
that
we
you would have
did.
never thought you would have crossed paths with, right?
No, no, some of them were freaking weirdos, but it was like the best kind of weirdos. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because we're weirdos. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, so that was like something that was always like really really fun to me. Like, I was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna do this random podcast, and it was always really fun to talk about. And you know,
yeah,
I miss it greatly, in a sense. But some days I'm really glad that it's not something that like takes up a big chunk of my life anymore either, because it like
hmm
it drains your boy.
it does drain you. That's one of the things that I realized. Like, I want to say closer. Well, after you left, I realized I was so obsessed with trying to make it happen and like be a huge hit that I wasn't having fun with it as much anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I think I got that feeling too. I definitely feel like we hit a wall at
mhm,
some point, and when we did, it was almost like we were coming to go to work, and
yeah,
it didn't seem like it was fun. Like, that wasn't the point of when we were continuing to do this. Like,
mhm.
it started to get really business oriented, and I think that was to a fault at our on ourselves looking back at it, because
Like
I
our own
think,
ambitions.
yeah, I think we kind of lost track of the whole goal of this thing was just to have a good time, and it
Yeah,
got so overwhelming, and we got so many people, we put so many hands in the pot, and then
hmm
it just got super overwhelming. And
yeah,
like, yeah, it was just like, when I left, I left kind of abruptly,
hmm
initially too. Just, I was going through a lot of stuff at the time, and dealing with, the death of my grandmother, uh,
hmm
but also on top of that, dealing with like really heavy depression, kind of not knowing what I was going to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
having these kind of feelings of just not really knowing what was next. There's a lot of outside pressures in
Yeah.
life, and it just kind of I got too busy. I got too crazy, and it just like we I lost track of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I would never take any of it back. I had a blast being a part of
Yeah.
the TWD. It was
No,
a
no,
lot of fun.
I remember we had some conversations about that, like towards the end of your departure.
Yeah,
We were talking about it, and we I think we were both kind of like we like I said we got too business oriented and too like trying to figure this thing out while trying to do life while trying to do this and that and this, and
hmm
it just all piled up and it became super overwhelming and
yeah.
to a point like frustrating, right? Because we were kind of not fighting because I don't think me and you ever fought, but we are kind of like we gotta do this, we gotta do that. We had differing opinions, and then we had other people that we brought in, and
They
it
had
just
different
kind of,
opinions, and it just kind of
yeah.
got like you said, it got overwhelming, and it was just like I think it was just a lot of differences in
Hmm.
opinion on where things were going, and but on top of that, I think I was already like on my way out
We were
mentally.
checking out.
Yeah, I think that was already kind of where things were going to be at. It was already kind of like I love it. I've enjoyed doing it. It's been a part of my life for so long. At this point, it was like
Hmm.
it hurt to cut ties at that point. But like I think at that time it was necessary
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
And,
Like I don't know.
and I would agree, like based off the conversations we had behind the scenes, like that's also kind of why, like I also on my end, I was like kind of like, maybe it's time to sever the tie with this, and and my intention was never to sever it permanently, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I hope you always have an open door here if you ever want to do stuff with us again. You're more
I
than
appreciate
welcome to,
that.
and I would love to have you back on again. I just at that time I think we were both going through stuff, and I kind of figured that it was probably the best move.
Yeah.
I really like as a friend, I realized that you needed time to figure out your own stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
like as a business minded person on the podcast end, like I also realized that you really needed to handle your stuff before you could really you know get back to how you enjoyed doing it.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, like I think, and I've been talking with Yvonne about it too, like, over time. I have been thinking about getting back into the podcasting game again and just doing it. But I think the way I want to do it now is I'm looking for a solo cast doing
Hmm.
true crime, talking stories, like the stuff I
Please.
started with, like when I was doing
Yeah.
I Need a Beer and all that kind of other stuff, like Nightmare on Podcast Street, like all
Yeah.
those like little fun ventures. I'd like to do that again. I think that was a really good time
Oh,
personally.
shit. Looks like someone might be joining
You
us.
know what's really
Oh
fucking
God.
funny?
What?
We both can't be recording at the same time.
What do you mean we can't be recording at the
So we're
same
trying to
time?
record the Excellent Chaos all in Spectral at the same time right now.
Good. Sorry about that.
It
Okay,
never
good.
changes.
Never changes. The funny thing is, he could have texted me.
No, he could have, but I think it's a very Chris Bowen thing to do.
Very Bowen thing to do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he's kept you guys very interested and entertained over the past couple of years as well.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I know
He.
he's a he's a regular on the show. I'm assuming.
To be honest, he wanted to try to resurrect Accidental Chaos, and he's been solely focused on that. Like,
Nice.
yeah. So me and Alan have been doing this. A lot of times it's just me, like with
Uh-huh.
the guest, and I like doing guest spots. Like, I like having guests on here and getting that one on one with them.
Well, I know you
That
stopped it for a little while. Did you just kind of like miss it after a while? Did it get like was it kind of because I know it was like you, Alan, and Chris for a little while, kind of doing y'all's thing
mhm.
for I think it was like a year
Yeah,
of
yeah,
just kind of nonstop, just shenanigans,
yeah.
trying to kind of figure out the place of the podcast. I like what changed? What made you want to like kind of go back to doing the interviews and stuff?
Well, it was a couple things. Like one of them was, I mean, I love doing podcasts with the boys. Like I love having a mix of both, like interviews and then podcasts with just the boys where we get to just
Hmm.
shoot the shit and have fun.
Yeah.
But like, I always think about like what was the mission of the weekly D when we started it? Besides just having fun and telling stories, like we always like from the moment me and Dan started it, like we're like, oh, we should start a platform where we can highlight local talent, highlight our
Mm-hmm.
friends, give people a chance to hear these interesting people that are in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like going through it. I always love doing interviews with you and then whatever guests we had, but I always wanted to challenge myself to be able to hold an interview myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And once I started doing it, like I fell in love with being able to control the conversation and kind of get to know these people, our guests, even reoccurring guests, get to know them on a more personal level and kind of get to ask them the questions that are always on the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like I love doing that, and I love putting on for Houston. Like I love sharing the talent that we meet. I
Oh, for
love
sure.
sharing like all the people that we meet. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but we had Jasmine on, Jasmine
Yes,
Reyes.
yes, I saw.
Yeah.
I keep, believe it or not, I keep tabs on you fuckers like every once in a while. I like to see what's going on, see where things are going, and just check up, make sure things are
Mhm.
all hunky dory. I was like, hey fucker, stop tagging me in random memes. I need you to stop doing that. I was like, I was telling Chris, I was like, Danny's still tagging me and stuff, and he's like, yeah, he thought it was funny, and I was like, ah, fuckers.
Oh, my bad. I didn't think it was funny for a little while, but then I was like, oh, I'm taking it too far.
It was funny for a little while. I'm not gonna lie. I was laughing every time I
Yeah.
go through. I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?
For
Why is he tagging me? Does he still
real.
have? Am I on like a group list or something that he has like deleted yet? What's
You got
happening?"
tagged on random ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
I
all
love
random.
watching
It was
those.
never like planned. I was just like, oh, today we're gonna tag Kyle.
I'm always in. I'm still in the front. I'm still in the front page over there in the little moon.
Yeah, yeah, you are. I still have the stickers. I have some stickers lying around still. The
Yeah,
little moon.
yeah. Where are my
Yeah.
stickers, you fuck?
I still owe you a shirt. I owe you stickers. I even have a shirt, bro. I've been holding on this shirt. It's Doge Palooza
Oh, what the hell?
that someone gave us, and I never had the chance to give it to you.
What is that?
That's I think it's this way.
I was like, kind of looks like one of the Among Us guys, but with a diamond.
Yeah, I forgot who gave it to us. It was a brand. They're like, "Oh, here, you guys are part of the weekly D." I even
Oh
got,
hell
I
yeah!
even got your shirt with the sticker pack all packaged up.
Oh man,
I
yeah.
didn't, I didn't get it to you.
Hey, send it to me. Now I'll give you my address after.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, and I'll send
What's
it
it
to
called?
you. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
that'd be
holding
dope.
on to those things since Doge Palooza, dude. I
I was like, you
packaged
got
them
any
and
tracks in Chaos shirt? Hit up your boy on that one as well. I love that freaking
yeah,
design.
I'm actually so I'm actually gonna reprint a bunch of stuff.
Uh huh.
I've been learning how to screen print,
Hmm.
and we used vinyl for all these shirts, and vinyl's cool, but it doesn't last as long.
Yeah.
So I'm about to make a run of and screen print all the shirts.
Well, hell yeah.
So I'll definitely
Yeah,
hook you up with
you.
the newer ones.
Yeah, hit me up with some of the new ones. I definitely like to support, so I can have them on. I
Oh,
like rocking new
Gym Day,
shirts.
bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Speaking of that, like that has been my life recently.
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't, obviously haven't really even shown it on personal. Like, I keep it, but I have kind of kept it low key on how much weight I've
Hmm.
actually lost. But I've lost almost 25 pounds. It's
Holy
about where
shit!
I'm at. Yeah. So I
Good
was
job,
at
dude.
my height at 250.
Uh huh.
And then I got myself, I just, there's so many things, like bending down to tie your shoes and you run out of breath,
Hmm.
like I said, keeping up with nieces and nephews and going and doing stuff and being active and available. I
Hmm.
felt like I was like legitimately like just degrading. And
Yeah.
so I just started going to the gym and started trying to get focused on that. And yeah, I've been doing it for like 4 months and,
Damn,
it's not 25
congratulations.
pounds, slow and steady is kind of the goal, but
That's the goal. That's
I've
the
been
best
on it.
way.
Yeah, and I've been just like building, like I've hit
Hmm.
some really nice PRs. Like I hit 557
Hell yeah.
or 577 on like leg press and stuff like that too. So I'm
God
like
damn.
starting to actually get strong, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool because I've
Hell
never
yeah.
been strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember me when I was in high school too. I was like a tiny, skinny
Oh,
kid
you're
who
scrawny. Yeah.
didn't work out. Like I was in good shape cardio wise, not
Hmm.
like weights or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I finally actually have muscle for the first
So,
time in a
so you're
long
getting
time.
that Papi Chulo buzz,
Yeah,
huh?
like I got big for a while in college, but
Yeah.
then like immediately just got fat because
Yeah.
my diet consisted of ramen and like tacos,
Makes
and that's
sense.
pretty much what it was. So like
Yeah.
I got big for a second and then just got fat.
Mm-hmm.
It just stayed that way. Like I
Bro,
was
it
starting to fit
happens.
into it. I was starting to get my XLs are starting to get tight, and I was
Yeah,
starting to like fit into a 2X. And
bro.
so yeah, I was like, it's time to make like a change. And
Dude,
now my XLs fit a lot more loose, and
oh yeah,
I'm almost back to a large, which is like
nice.
awesome. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. I gotta tell you, seeing you work out like almost every day, every time I see you post, and seeing Gammy Gons work out like every fucking day, I went and got myself a gym membership, and I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? I need to catch up to these boys,
bro, yeah,
bro.
honestly, it's the best thing ever. Like, and I used to, you saw, I was grinding for a little while, 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be out there for like 2, 3 hours, like just hitting, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I've gotten a lot more disciplined, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, too. So I specifically 1 day a week is like one day is arms, 1 day is
Nice.
shoulders, 1 day is chest, 1 day is back, and it goes
Mm-hmm.
down to legs and abs. And so I just try to get like one muscle group fully
Very
worked
nice.
out once a day.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal. Six different days, and if I miss one, it's not a big deal. Like I used to get like kind of obsessed with it because I was like, I'm doing so good, but
Yeah.
I've been able to maintain my weight loss, which has been really good, and then on top of that, I can kind of still eat what I want.
Yeah.
But I've been just more careful and more conscious of what I'm eating. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
been really helpful too.
Yeah. I even got me a fitness tracker because of you.
Hell yeah, I got one of those.
Hell
I
yeah.
took it off because
I
what's
got
it
the new
called?
table.
I was like, but
No,
yeah,
but
no, that thing's great. I love it. I'm
yeah. See,
addicted to fitness.
my problem with anything is I have a stupid person, like a stupidly aggressive, addictive personality.
Hmm.
So anything I do, like I get super obsessed with it, super addicted to it, and then I end up fucking myself up.
Yeah, dude.
Because first thing I got this thing, I was like, all right, I would track every single movement every single day. And like for 3 weeks, I was just like, okay, did I sleep enough? Did I eat enough? Did I move enough? I was waking up at 5 in the morning, go work out, and then after work,
Hmm.
I would go work out again. And then
Yeah.
like I burned myself out, and I was like, okay, I need to pump the brakes. I'm not 18 anymore. Can't do that
No.
no more.
And that's definitely a thing too, man. Like you'll go and have like a good workout and like it's not that your back is sore, it's that your body just hurts. You're
Yeah,
not used to it. Like
yeah,
I have been really careful this time around to just watch how I work out because I have
mm-hmm,
injured myself before. Like when I was starting
mm-hmm.
to get back into it a couple years ago. So what scared me off of it is I injured my shoulder
Oof.
pretty bad, and I still have like for a
Did you
long time
tear?
I had some consistent like nerve damage
Yeah.
where like I was just like still like to this day my shoulder does have its days,
Mm-hmm.
but you know I've been just like I said more careful, not trying to ego lift, just taking like I
Yeah.
said, taking things slow and getting stronger, but actually getting stronger instead of trying to
Yeah.
lose weight and then injuring myself and being out of the gym for 6 weeks. Like I can't do that.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I had to remind myself. I'm not 18 anymore. I was over there
Now,
trying to like bench like crazy, and then my shoulder popped, and I was like, I gotta slow this down.
well, I can tell you a little story about that too because I just think it's really funny. So did you ever meet Spencer Cardwell? You may not have met him. So Spencer's a good buddy of mine from Theta Chi back when I was
Mm-hmm.
in a fraternity, and we've been buddies. He was one of my best. He was one of my groomsmen in my wedding.
Nice.
He's just we've just been boys for a really long time. Well, he works in the oil field, and he comes out for like a week on, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
deal. Well, he invites me out to go and hang out with them for the weekend because they're doing a tailgate over at Texas State, and it was like I get to hang out with the boys again. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
been around the fraternity in like 6 years at that point. I think is what it
Whoa.
was because
Yeah.
I had just been in Kentucky for 5 of those years, and then the
Mm-hmm.
first year I got out, I just was trying to focus on my life, and so I was just out for like a while. So I was like, oh, I'll go hang out with Spencer, and and then kind of just reconnect on with some of the guys and meet some of the new guys that are there and see where things are at. And oh yeah, the first night was insane. Like so, we went to the bar scene, as the square. For those listeners who don't know, the square is like literally it's like a town square, and it's just full of bars. Yeah, being 30, 20 at the time 29, going to a college bar was painful to say the
Yeah.
least. For one, too many people. so many freaking people. But then just the worst liquor you can think of, bottom shelf, everything.
Oof.
It's like $2 for a shot, but
Uh-huh.
you're gonna pay for it. It's all sweet and gross, and but you're doing it. And so I went out with those guys. We had like a great time. We went like all the way around basically the square. I kept challenging people because you know how I am.
Mhm.
Like I saw this giant dude who was also in that fraternity, and I was like, "Hey, like, are you this?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was just like, "I bet I can beat you in a drinking challenge." I told him that. Already a little buzzed, and he was like, "Bet." So we just tried to outdrink each other. I
Uh-huh.
lost. So I guess other thing before that, I got also being 30, I almost didn't get let into a bar because of my gray hair.
No way.
Oh yeah, they were like, "Hey, this is college night," and all the guys were like, "Hey, he's an alumni. He's coming to visit. Like, he's just there." Like, and I was like, "Bro, you're killing me." I'm like, I'm still in my 20s at that time. I'm like, "I'm still in my 20s, bro. I'm like 29. You're killing me." He's like,
No.
"Yeah," and they were like, "Fine, let him in." He's like, "Honestly, I wouldn't have had an issue with you coming in anyway. They just tell me that I have to do it, and so I have to do it. Now I feel like it. And he's like, now I feel like an asshole. So thanks." So lo and behold, keep drinking, get really drunk, and have like
Legend
almost a
came out, huh?
weekly to Christmas party drunk
Uh-huh.
Kyle. Yeah, definitely threw
Legend
up in
Kyle.
Spencer's
Legend
Jeep,
Kyle.
and yeah, yeah, the legend himself. So I threw up in his Jeep because I couldn't figure out how to open it from the inside.
No.
And then once I did that, I definitely fell asleep on the front yard in his grass. Um, woke up dead, just dead. Like I was so cooked. I was still drunk in the morning. I was just like, what the fuck? Why? Like I'm grown. Like I don't drink like that like ever.
Yeah.
And so that was like almost that level.
Yeah.
And bro, I paid for it that next day. I paid for it so hard. We like went to the tailgate and I had a good time, but I
Mhm.
was super sick for like the first like 4 hours
Bro,
a day.
recovery changes big time once you hit 30.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll just eat something, and I ate something, and immediately got sick. And I
Yeah,
was like,
no.
yep, okay, well,
It ain't the same no more, dude. Yeah,
mm-mm,
I went out drinking with my brother in law. I want to say like 2 months ago. And the dude's a lightweight, right? And
mm,
obviously I drank him under the table because ego drinker over here.
mm-hmm.
But dude, I was fine, and then I got home, and the thing was, drinking isn't what got me. It's the not sleeping on time.
Gotcha.
I got home. I went
Yeah,
to sleep like at 5 in the morning. I woke up at 10, and I felt like I got ran over, dude. Like I was just like, nope, I can't do it.
yeah. It's always something else that takes me over the edge. It's usually not the drinking, believe it or
hmm
not. Like I had a recent incident where I tried a Zyn for the first time, like one of those
Oh,
like
a six
those little,
six
yeah.
milligram?
It was the 6 milligram one.
Yeah, no, don't do
I
the six.
I've been drinking and like so I was like every time I drink I'm like give me a
Uh-huh.
little bit of nicotine. I need something to kind of like even me out. Yeah, and I had like the 6 milligram one and that thing put me on my ass. Like
Dude,
I never had seen like I'm like it's nicotine like what is like
yeah,
cigarette like or like I used to chew for like a little bit like it
mhm.
was very very
Like
short
a
phase.
little pinch. Yeah,
Yeah, just like just honestly here and there was what it
yeah.
was. I've never even bought like my own pack of cigarettes. Like I've never
Okay.
been like that's like nicotine's never been something I've like been like super into.
hmm
But like when I drink, I fucking love it.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
the
was like,
best,
give me one of those. And yeah, no, I freaking
dude. Nicotine sickness is something different, bro. I
yeah. Well, I used to do
so,
hookah on a regular basis, and that was a
but that's so different compared to these freaking Zins, dude.
yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
a similar. It was like a similar head high at first, and then
hmm
I got like a full body
Like
like
boom.
yeah, and you're just like, you feel like you're like almost like blackout drunk, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah,
Like
dude. But
I've never had that before, so I was like, that's insane. And
bro,
like,
so
I don't
funny.
do anything else. Like, you know
Yeah,
me, I'm super like
you stick to
normie.
the
Like,
alcohol, and that's
yeah, I
about
just
it.
super
Yeah.
much alcohol, and I don't like I said, I don't really do nicotine. So that was like my first experience with like that. And like I said,
Yeah.
I've done chaw, I've done like plenty my fair share of cigarettes, and I used to
hmm
smoke cigars, smoke hookah. So I was like, what? It's just
It's
another
just low
nicotine thing.
nicotine. Yeah.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Bro,
Mm-mm.
so funny story about that. The other day, me and Elude, we were playing video games, right? And I think we were playing Overwatch or something. And I had a Zin in there, but I couldn't taste it anymore. So I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I was like, instead of throwing it out, I'm just gonna pop another one in there, right? Not thinking about it, bro. We were playing, and I want to say like 5 minutes in, it just like the nasty head rush hit me, and I just felt like I
Mhm.
was spinning. And I was like, Lil, I gotta go take a piss. I took off running and just puked all over the
You get
rest.
to go throw up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible feeling.
Like washed my face, washed everything, and I came back. And Luz was like, "Damn, you took a minute."
Yeah,
And I
it's
was
like you
like,
just hit
"Yeah,
the
dude,
spit.
I had to puke." I was like, "I'm not even gonna lie. I popped two Zins and I had to puke." It was
Jeez.
bad.
The fuck did I?
But yeah, no, dude, don't don't double up on Zins or do 6 millimeters.
No,
That's for
no,
the
terrible idea.
men.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. And honestly, all those guys, like all those young guys do them, and I'm like, y'all
Yeah.
are nuts. Y'all are nuts. Those like pop them in during like meetings and probably class and everything else. I'm sure too. And I'm like,
Okay.
y'all are
Okay.
right. Do it.
So I do have to admit, 3 milligrams of Zins, if you can hold it down, it'll hyper focus you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it like
Crazy.
I every now and then, because I work from home now, dude. I don't know if I told you this. I'm not a
Yeah.
mechanic
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, so I've been working from home, and dude, I pop us in, and I'm just like, boom, locked in. Like I completely just locked in the work. It's
You
pretty
want to take you
funny.
want to take any of Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain?
I've tried it. Alpha Brain works too, but not as good as the Zen. I gotta admit.
Gotta give it to good old classic nicotine.
Now, I mean, Alpha Brain works great for memory. Like it really does boost your memory and your recall. But Zen just locks you in.
Bro, I can't remember shit ever. Might have to start taking it. I have like the memory of a fish,
You're
specifically
that.
a goldfish. Pretty rough.
Golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to consider Alpha Brain. It works pretty good.
I might look into it.
It's
This is not a
expensive though,
sponsor.
huh?
This is not a sponsor. Alpha
Yeah,
Brain
no, no,
paying
no,
us.
no, no.
Um, but yeah, dude, like life's all right, man. Life's all right.
That's
Life is
awesome, dude.
good. It's also again best. I think we were talking about is this is my favorite time of the year. I love the
Uh-huh.
fall. I love spooky season, and we're kind of
Yes,
right smack dab in the middle of it.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right in, literally right in the middle of spooky season, fall season,
Yeah,
Wars
officially.
Fest season,
What am I
Oktoberfest
doing?
season.
Leaving the country.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I love Texas fall because you don't really get a fall. You just
No,
get.
bro, I don't love Texas fall. That's one of the things. Like living here, like no, it's
Well, you had real fall, right, in
yes.
Kentucky?
I had all 4 seasons in Kentucky. That was one of the things I think I would arguably say I miss about Kentucky. I wish Texas had 4 seasons. It
Yeah,
does not. And
yeah.
so, like, literally seeing the leaves change color and the cool weather come in, like, right around the end of September, beginning of October, to where it starts to get to
Hmm.
60, then it gets to, like, the 40s at night. Oh, man, it's just different
That's
animal.
nice.
And you see,
Yeah.
like, and you're driving through town and you see, like, the orange, like, leaves kind of
Hmm.
rolling against the street and the road, and it, like, feels like autumn. It feels like fall, and it's just a cool feeling.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what my wife told me. She's up in Minnesota right now, and the leaves are starting to change. Everything's starting to shift a little bit more to fall, and she's like, "Man, it's the best weather ever."
Yeah, I mean, she's about to be in for a rude awakening,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, in probably like 2 weeks, honestly, because her winter starts really early.
Yeah. Apparently, this is the hottest fall that Minnesota has had.
No, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that also sometimes tends to be a brutal winter time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Warm falls and warm
I
summers.
hope not, because I'm supposed to drive up there in December and drive her back home.
Might not want to ice road trucker that shit.
We're gonna be slipping and sliding.
Yeah, your little Yachty said it himself. Call that Minnesota, call that Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's been so many new artists that have come out too that we haven't been able to talk about, like Mexican OT, Big X
Yes.
the Plug, Zach
Yes.
Top. Like you probably see it. I'm obsessed with Zach Top.
Yeah.
I post about him all over my like
Dude, he's
Instagram.
dope.
Yeah,
He's
he's really
really
good.
good. Yeah.
Like so like yeah, there's just so much good music coming out. Like
Yes.
so many good art. Like like I said, local artists with Big X,
Yeah.
Kane Dallas, and Mexican OT being from like Bay City.
Mm-hmm. Bay City.
Um, Bay City, Texas. I bet he was one of. I bet they played Lamar when he was playing. I'm sure he was playing football.
I'm sure they did at some
Yeah,
point.
because we played Bay City, right? Back when we
Yeah,
were at
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, Bay City.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no. And then there's a lot of awesome artists coming out, especially like Latin artists coming out of
Mhm.
Texas. We've actually partnered up with this guy called Eloy, and he runs the Latin X hip hop page on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff, and he's been putting us on to so many artists that are coming up, and they're from Houston. There's this chick, her name's Crystal Poppin, that's like really popular coming out of San Antonio. She's really good. Um, who else? See, there is Powda. She's another chick that raps that's really good.
Mhm.
I mean Kyle Garrett,
Mhm.
a good friend of ours. He's been doing really good with his music. I still have yet to see him perform live, which I am kicking my own ass for because every time he comes into town, I'm in the middle of doing something.
Well, hopefully he goes to Dosey Do again. That's like right by my house.
Yeah.
Uh, they do that whole, and I will plug them. They have such a cool experience. Only also because my cousins are sponsors for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're a realty group that sponsors them. Shout out Griffin Realty. They got us
Very
the
nice.
house. But yeah, no, like they do this whole thing. Where it basically think of it as like a podcast actually.
Hmm.
So he basically gets these guys on the stage, and he's had people like William Beckman out of Del
Hmm.
Rio, Brantley, what's it called, uh, David Ramirez.
Hmm.
He's had Braxton Keith, which is like a newer guy,
Yeah.
like show up, and he'll basically have a conversation with them with the
Mhm.
audience, and also we get live music on top of that,
Oh,
so it'll
that's
kind of come in
dope.
and out, so you get to kind of have this really like I would say really close personal
Hmm.
experience with like the artist. So it's really cool. It's
Yeah.
a definite vibe.
Yeah. And last time he was there, dude, I was trying to make it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just life just kept it preventing me from making it that day. I was
Mm-hmm.
leaving on my way and got a flat. Like I was already going late because my dad, I forgot what he had to do. Something broke down with his car. So like I fixed his car and went home, got showered on my way there, got your flat. By the
Mm-hmm.
time I get there, that's already all over, and I was just like, "Damn, dude!" Every time I try to go see Kyle, something happens.
Yeah, dude. And sometimes that's just the way life is, man. Like I feel like life is just full of fun ups and downs that keep things exciting.
Yeah. Oh, that's for
Not
sure.
necessarily keep things fun, but keep things exciting for
Oh
sure.
yeah, gotta keep
Um,
you on your feet.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's like one of the. I think we've talked about this before, but that's like one of my mantras. Just
Hmm.
generally speaking, with life is you have bad days, so that way the good days can be a little sweeter.
Yeah.
I think that's why bad days really exist, and I always have this belief because I've seen it. Is I think bad days tend to happen in threes, similar to
Okay.
death. How people say death happens in threes. I think bad days also happen in threes.
Uh huh.
Like every single time I have one good, really good day, I expect a couple bad days to kind of
Really?
get back, just to even things out.
To
Yeah,
kind of humble you down.
yeah, just to kind of to keep me humble.
Yeah.
To like, that's what always makes me nervous. Every time I hear something really good is happening in my life, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, something bad's gonna happen, like really heavily soon. And that
Yeah.
might be a pessimistic view, but lo and behold, some shitty happens. Like, and it's not necessarily bad in the sense that I get this terrible news about somebody or
Uh-huh.
whatever. It could be like I tripped and I stubbed my toe,
Hmm.
or like I had a bad day at work, or I had like whatever. It's just like I always feel like there's like these little bad things that'll happen in like threes.
Yeah. That makes
Yeah,
sense. That
it's
makes
weird.
sense.
Weird, hard to
I'm the
explain,
opposite.
but yeah,
I'm like you gotta go through the shit to get to the good stuff.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
You
I
know.
feel like that's like, yeah, it's just not as exciting. Life isn't as exciting without it.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. That's for sure. J. Cole said it best. There's beauty in the struggle.
No, for sure, for sure. And boy, do we struggle.
Yes, sir. That's one thing that's for sure.
hmm I'm still a broke boy, always.
But you got a house.
Yep. Update Dogecoin. Don't have any more of that. Don't have any. I don't have any more. I don't have any more crypto. I got completely out of crypto.
Dude, after Safe Moon robbed half my money, I was like, I'm out.
I luckily did not put that much money in the safe, but I don't
I
fuck.
definitely did. I put like $200.
Still, that hurts. That
Oh,
hurt.
it hurt to see it go bloop, and then just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, but
His
yeah,
pain.
we're boys back then. We're men now.
Yeah, yeah, that's how we had to learn. I did become a paid artist though. That was the coolest
That
thing.
was dope.
Thanks to
That was
natural
dope.
degens and balloonicorns and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff. Like I think I made like $30,000 at the
dude,
time in
that's really fucking
like
good.
crypto equivalent. Like
But
that's
did
a
it
cool.
hold? Did it hold up, or did?
No, no, of course it fell. No, it did not. I mean, it like lo and behold, like had about 30K just like sitting in there, and
Mhm.
then it eventually like degraded all the way down, but it didn't go to zero. I mean,
Yeah.
I had like a couple thousand, like yeah.
You
So
know
that,
what I was worried about all that was like how badly you were gonna get taxed. We tried
oh
to pull
yeah,
the
yeah, no, I paid for that too.
yeah.
I learned very the hard way. It's where a lot of my money that I did earn went back to.
Oof.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, well, yeah. Lo and behold, the more you know. Yeah, yeah. Learning, and
It
growing
costs.
is the best way to go. Yeah, no, it sucks. Um, but
Damn.
yeah, dude. That's my life is very different now than it was when we first started with Weekly.
Yeah,
Very
mine
successful.
is too. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I
Believe it
don't
or
deal with
not,
any of that stuff anymore.
I am not the same Daniel that was once the Daniel that started this podcast.
Well, I think that's a good thing, right? That's the whole goal of this life we live, right? Is to grow and change over time, right? In that
Yeah,
the saying.
dude. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I mean, but I am so glad I went through all this before my 30s. And I got all the stupid imperfections out my way, and got
Good.
called out on it for some other things. Like like I said before we even started, I almost got divorced like 2 months after we got married,
Well, tell me what happened.
dude. So okay, you know me. I'm probably one of the biggest idiots you'll ever meet, but somehow I still make it in life enough to to survive. But
You're one of
so
Rob Ross's happy accidents.
yeah, exactly. That's probably the best way to paint my life right there. Bob Ross's happy accidents. So when I got married, like me and my wife did the whole Catholic wedding. We went through all the marriage prep. We went through marriage counseling because that's a requirement now.
Hmm.
We talked everything out, and we agreed that we weren't hiding anything, no truth, no lies, no nothing. I at the time, oh shit, thoroughly believed that,
Spooky
right?
season.
I thoroughly believe that I wasn't hiding anything. I was 100% truthful. But again, this is how my brain works.
Hmm.
I didn't realize I had a severe porn addiction,
Hmm.
and I never mentioned it. I never told my wife about it. And like I never thought it was a problem because again, like my brain just didn't never realized how bad it was
Hmm.
and how much of an issue it could be,
Hmm.
right? And well, telling my wife happened to have found out that I had like a crazy Reddit that had probably thousands and thousands of fucking links to like all sorts of different things,
Oh, you were
OnlyFans.
that down bad. You went through the Reddit.
Bro, I was
was
down. I
was
was
it
down.
because they canceled porn? What they canceled Pornhub in Texas, so you had to find other
And this
avenues.
was pre Pornhub bad, bro. And the problem was like I had consumed so much porn from the point that I was like 10 years old to the point that I was getting married that I was just bored with it.
Hmm.
So like normal porn wasn't doing it for me. So I was just like really caught up in like trying to find something different. But at the same time, like I had a wife, I was super happy, like
Hmm.
sexually with her and whatnot. But I hid all this. I never explained it to her, never told her about it because I never thought it was an issue.
Hmm.
And well, she found out like 3 weeks after we got married, and boy, oh boy, was that an uphill battle to get out of. Not
Oh,
to
I'm
get
sure.
out of, to like work through it. I never thought that could affect her that much, or it would affect anyone that much. I thought it was just like a thing I did, but
Hmm.
it really like it destroyed her. We spent probably our first 6 months of marriage instead of being all happy and whatnot, just like fighting, trying to get through it,
Hmm.
trying to figure it out. Went through a ton of marriage counseling, a ton of normal counseling. I mean, shout out to BetterHelp because they really got us through that one.
Well, good to hear on that.
But yeah, no, it was bad. And then the worst thing was we were living at her parents' house. So we're confined to a room in her parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
I had just started working from home. So I was like, I felt like I was trapped. I was in like severe depression.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just bad. It was bad, bad. And yeah, no. Luckily we made it through. Luckily I have an amazing wife that, at the end of the day was very understanding and very forgiving. And
That's
we're
good.
going strong. About to celebrate our 2 year anniversary in December. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, it's exciting.
But
Like, that said, that is definitely a real thing. Like both guys and girls face, like it's not a
mhm.
nothing to be ashamed of, and it's good that you guys got through it. I think a lot of people, believe it or not, go through a very similar thing.
Yeah.
How are you doing with it now? Is it kind of like got better? Is it
Oh, it's
still
gotten way better, dude.
yeah?
It's gone. So this is gonna sound really stupid, but I realized part of the reason I watched porn was because I had severe ADHD. So my default when I got bored was go look at porn, go look at some titties. Like I hate to say it that way, but that's what my brain would say.
Mhm.
And part of it was that one, I had severe ADHD. Two, like I never realized it was an issue. Like I
Mhm.
never thought about it that way, and luckily seeking help again, counseling has really helped me through it. I still go to counseling once a month, just to check up with my counselor, let
That's
them know where
awesome.
we're at. Which I mean, it's helped me in other things too. Sobriety in general. I don't know if
Mhm.
you remember how wild I was when we first started this podcast.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but it was a struggle, man. Getting caught up in something that deep and going through that much depression and not having like turned into alcohol or drugs or anything
Mhm.
was probably my proudest moment of that whole thing. Besides saving my marriage with my wife, is
Yeah.
that I actually had the strength to not relapse and go back to the way I was before. But
Well, that's
yeah, dude.
awesome. Well, definitely kudos to you. I mean, it takes being a man. And like I said, a lot of guys can't do it. Tough. It's tough. Like, and it's something that I think a lot of dudes, generally speaking, like face is just kind of for one, not knowing how to deal with certain things and not knowing
Mhm.
how to, because you think you can handle it too, being a guy. Like it's like, oh, like I'll just figure it out and do it on my own.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need more than that, and that's so. Kudos to you for going and taking the steps and going to, therapy and taking the time to do that instead of just putting it on your wife and all this other stuff too, which can't always just happen. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Mhm.
it takes it's a very very adult man thing you did, and that's good.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. That was not easy, dude. Like,
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it
I
wasn't.
legit,
Really
I
difficult.
legit thought I had like ruined everything. Like, I was convinced I was gonna get divorced. I
Yeah.
was like, damn. Like, right when I thought I was turning the pages the right way in life, and just fell 3 steps back.
Well, don't worry. Like I said, it happens to everybody. I mean, I have my own issues. Like I
Mm-hmm.
deal with being really impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm an impulsive purchaser of stuff. I just like to buy things. Like
Yeah.
recently, I had I have a Sheen addiction at the moment,
Oh no.
and I've just been buying like a bunch of stuff on Sheen because it's super
Uh-huh.
cheap, and like just not talking to Yvonne about it, and
Ooh.
thinking it's fine because it's cheap, right? And yeah, no, don't do that. Like be honest
Yeah.
with
No.
your wife about stuff because they don't like that.
Dude, Timu
Yeah,
almost got me like that, bro. I got
really.
on there and I was like, you get all this for free, and I was
Well,
like,
it's
for
all like
free.
it's all not the best quality stuff, and I'm sure it's from like a fucking sweatshop in China. But honestly, I got some really cool workout gear through it. Like I've gotten some like super dope stuff for our cruise.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten like just all kinds of cool shit. Like just random stuff.
Hmm.
And like yeah, I just get super addicted to stuff. Like it's the same thing with like magic. Like
Yeah.
like that's where you're going. You got to see our full
Magic the Gathering. Yeah.
descent into Magic the Gathering. Oh yeah, I've spent a pretty penny on that over the past couple years. I'm sure, as
Yeah.
you probably know. Yeah, and it's just not
Impulse
healthy.
buys.
Oh, for sure. Just feeling that urge to buy something. Like I have really bad issues with that. So I've been
Hmm.
working on doing that because like we do okay. Like we take care of each other and we do well in terms of like
Hmm.
financially speaking, but like, yeah, we still have a mortgage, and we still have bills, and we still have
Yeah.
credit card debt, and we still have all these other things that like keep me poor. To be frank. So yeah, it's just sometimes there's just not money to do some of those things, even though I want to. And so
Yeah.
it's been a lot of telling myself no and trying to be an adult versus like,
To being an adult is hard. Like
bro,
I
it
believe it was a
fucking
trap.
sucks. Being an adult fucking sucks. And like I think there's beautiful things about it, right? Like you get
Hmm.
to be your own person. You don't have to live under the rules of anybody in particular. Like you get to,
Hmm.
and you get to learn all these really cool life lessons. Like as you get older, because you start to actually understand some of the things your parents told you
Yeah.
when they weren't just bitching at you; they were actually telling you like, real advice. And so I've learned
Yeah.
the hard way on a lot of stuff. I've learned that's been a big thing this year too. Is just learning to not be as impulsive in anything, not just
Hmm.
with finances, but like in life. Not trying
Yeah.
to just jump on something or because it's interesting or I want to do it or I have this urge to just try something new. Like that
Hmm.
was the thing. I had like four different hobbies when we were doing the weekly D too. Like
Yeah.
it was magic, it was drawing, it was the NFT stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't
You
know how
were.
I did it.
Yeah. Crazy
Yeah,
workload.
on top of my regular job, like on top
Yeah.
of my full time job that I had, trying to maintain that, like with all of that, was just I don't know how I did it.
Dude,
To be honest with
I,
you,
I don't blame you either because, like, when we're doing it, especially the year I was getting married, I was doing this. I was trying to come up with another podcast, and then I was working two other jobs.
yeah,
Like it was stupid. Like,
yeah,
the more I think about it, I think it was obvious that we were gonna implode and just burn ourselves out.
it was only a matter of time.
Yeah,
It really was, and yeah, I mean, am I sad it happened? Yeah, but am I glad it happened? Absolutely.
it was a great
Because
ride.
I needed somebody to tell. I needed myself to be like, no,
Yeah,
stop it, and
yeah,
smack myself a buzz. Smack myself with like the cane of like truth, and
yeah.
tell me like, no, I don't. I'm done. We're done with
I,
this. Over
uh,
it. It's just not necessary. It's not healthy. It's not. We're not making strides toward being better.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
As you get older, do you like understand your parents more and give them a little
Oh, for
more
sure.
grace?
For
Thinking
sure.
back
Well,
as
yes and no. There are some things that I think they still have, like, and I think that's just me also kind of like
mhm.
growing up different than they did.
Yeah,
So there are some things where I'm like, and no. But a
oh,
lot of things,
definitely.
especially finances, going over
Hmm.
like general life advice, maybe getting back in touch with religion, like,
Hmm.
all those things, like I'm taking more to heart now than I used to, and
Yeah.
trying to, just be more cognizant and understanding of their thought processes and their opinions. And
Hmm.
I think that's been helping a lot. And I have a much better relationship with my parents than I did
Bro, same.
when I lived in Kentucky too. Even
Yeah.
well, I'm a terrible communicator. Like it's like one thing I'm very open about is I suck at texting. Awful at
Hmm.
texting. Like text me, I'll probably text you in 6 hours. Which is really what
Yeah.
it is. It just is my life. Unless you call me, I'm probably not gonna like
Text back right
answer.
away. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm terrible at like, and so even calling, like I just,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not the sibling or the son who calls all the time. I
Yeah.
still, love him just the same, but it's also like, yeah, you're probably not going to hear from me for like a couple weeks. And just kind of vibe
Yeah.
and do my thing. When I get really busy, I'm just really busy. That's all
Yeah.
it is. That's all it is.
No, I feel you on that because I'm the same exact way. My mom always calls me out on it.
Yeah,
She'll be
so
like,
my mom does the
"Mijito,
same.
no me has hablado. Like, you haven't called me. You haven't come to visit me." I was like, "Mom, I'm busy. I'm over here working 10-hour days. Trying to. I like most of the time. Right now, I don't leave my house very much because I'm just working,
Yeah,
working and working, and
yeah.
I gotta tell my mom sometimes like it's not that I don't love you. I get off work and I just want to go to sleep or chill and hang out, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's that. And yeah, because you're so burned out, you just don't want to like
Yeah,
stress yourself out with anything else. Like, it's
yeah,
I'm done. I'm gonna go take a nap, or I'm gonna go watch some TV and like wind down, and like just or do something to like get my
exactly.
mind
I
off
don't
the
go drive 45 minutes like
yeah.
right after work.
Yeah, like,
You
and it's
know,
just, yeah, no, so I get totally get that too. But it's also like I've been thinking a lot more about mortality recently,
same.
and how quickly this life is moving by. Like, I don't know if you felt it either, and it could be like post-COVID stuff too, but I
Dude,
definitely feel like life's moving a lot quicker. Um,
yeah.
like we're a
No,
lot, well, we're also a lot closer to 60 than we are to, you know, for one, we're closer to 40 than we are to 10. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we're not even, we're farther away from when we were younger than than
yeah.
now we're moving into becoming older. And, it's becoming a lot more real that you have to be more cognizant of certain things. Like your parents are getting older on top of that.
Yeah, dude.
Like everyone around you is aging. Like things are
Hmm.
changing in your life. You're changing, and so
Yeah.
you got to be cognizant of those things too. Because you know the goal is to live as long as you can, right? You're only
Hmm.
given, as far as we know, right? You're only given one opportunity to be on this earth and live
Yeah.
this life. So why tarnish it?
Yeah.
So I learned it late, right? Learning in your 30s, but
Yeah.
that's I feel like a lot of people do.
No, I feel that too though, because like every time I go visit my parents, that's the first thing I think is like, damn, my parents are getting old. Like,
Yeah.
and like that's the first thing that pops into my head. Like, damn, they're getting older. I'm getting older. My brothers are getting older.
Hmm.
I was like, fuck, like, are we where we want to be in life? What can we
Yeah.
do to be different? What
Yeah.
can
Like
we
my
do?
baby brother's 26.
Yeah,
You know, like what?
yeah, no,
What?
that's crazy.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Like I remember him being that little chubby kid who liked
Mm-hmm.
to be a little jerk, and now he's a husband and
A
a
dad.
father of two kids.
Yeah.
Like what happened?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Mortality is a crazy thing to think of.
Yeah.
And
Like.
it's crazy because I mean that's literally the first thing you think of as you get older. It's
Hmm.
like, damn, I'm getting older. Like, at
Hmm.
least for me, like I always think I don't necessarily think am I in where I want to be in life because that will depress me if I think about it too long. But
Yeah.
I'm more of a like, what am I doing to leave an impact? What
Yeah.
am I doing, to leave my mark on the world and try to make the world a better place.
Yeah. See, I stopped thinking about that after a while. Like, I think that was what I was hyper focused on and obsessed with for a little bit was
Hmm.
how am I going to leave a mark on this like world? Like,
Hmm.
are people going to remember me when I'm dead and gone? Years
Yeah.
from now. But I've refocused on kind of what I was looking at, and I've kind of focused on the here and now rather than focusing on the
Okay.
future. Like, which
Hmm.
is, I don't know. I've been thinking like, my niece is like this age now. Like, let me
Yeah.
take the time to
To
spend
enjoy
time with
them.
her. Well, that way she has good memories when she gets older, and maybe it's not impacting people at a bigger scale. Maybe it's impacting people at a small scale.
But
Um,
that's the impact, right? Like,
yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna leave a mark on the world, but
Mhm.
what are you gonna leave behind to the people that loved you?
Yeah.
People that
Exactly.
meant the most to you.
And so that's kind of like where my refocus has saying changed because I
Yeah.
definitely wanted to. My dream was to become like this famous person who made an impact in the world doing something uh,
Yeah.
good for the world, like charities and stuff like that too. But
Hmm.
it just never happened. That's okay. Doesn't
Yeah.
need to. It probably wasn't
Yeah.
meant for me. Like honestly, like I have an impulse issue. It probably wasn't good for me to have a lot of money in my pocket anyway.
Dude, I always think about that all the time. Like, I think about how, I had opportunities when I was younger that if I would have taken, like, I would have made a buttload of money. But then, knowing who I was when I was younger, there's no way in hell I'd still be alive.
No,
I would have drank myself to death or overdosed or done something stupid. It
yeah.
wasn't meant for me.
I think God's got a plan. You know.
Yeah,
So I'm just kind of letting things ride, and I'm kind of just enjoying the ride recently. I just worry that it's moving too fast, and that makes it
yeah,
unfair. But
yeah,
they always tell you when you get older that this life does move by kind of quickly. Like I just feel like it's zooming through the
yeah.
time around. Like we hit 30 this year, like me and you,
Mhm. Yeah,
and it was like I had to take a real good look at like what the fuck, like where did it go, like
yeah,
30 years, all these amazing people that I met that are here and now gone. Like, what the fuck happened?
yeah.
Like, so, I don't know. Like, this, we'll see where that goes.
Life's crazy, but it's beautiful at the
Let's have
same
a
time.
talk in 10 years and see where we're at.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll redo this episode in 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, man, awesome. Well, I mean, we're supposed to get you on for a Halloween episode,
Yeah,
but I feel like this has been a great episode, just catching up.
heck yeah,
But if you're down against some Halloween things, maybe we can do a couple
fuck
little
yeah.
topics here and there. All right,
I love Halloween. It's literally my favorite holiday. Well, no, it's not my favorite holiday. That's a lie. My favorite holiday is Christmas.
that's
Cause
Christmas. Yeah,
oh yeah. Halloween's definitely second. Um,
yeah.
because I love spooky everything and
Dude, I
like
love Halloween.
my entire life.
I'm so sad because like I married a person that doesn't necessarily like Halloween.
It's
She
same
loves
with my
fall,
wife.
doesn't like Halloween.
Same
So
with my
like,
wife. She doesn't like spooky Halloween. She likes
yeah, like
cutesy
Disney
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've
yeah,
been like letting her embrace it. Like I'm a vintage Halloween guy. I like old
yeah,
school Halloween stuff. Like the old Jack o'
yes,
lanterns and the cool like yeah, I'm all vintage. So and
yeah.
vintage Christmas too. That's always my go
Oh,
to.
vintage Christmas is the best.
Yeah, like glass ornaments and like
Yeah.
bubble lights and
Do
little
you
glass
do a
reindeer.
village, a Christmas village?
We had a Christmas village. We also have a what do they call it? Nativity scene as well.
Oh, nice. Hell
I have a
yeah,
nativity scene that was like passed down from like my grandma.
dude,
Um,
that is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Oh, I have a ton of like that my mom gave it to me, so I have a bunch
Uh,
of like those kind of things. And then we bought a tree, and then we just got another tree from the somebody in the neighborhood. So we're gonna have two Christmas trees now.
nice.
So yeah, lots of fun stuff.
So one really cool thing that we did when we got married, it was around like December, right? So
Uh
Nanya wanted a Christmas themed wedding. So we asked people, to either sell us or donate their Christmas trees, and we had like 10 people donate Christmas trees. Where they're like, we were gonna throw them out, or we bought a new one anyways. Y'all can have
huh.
them. So like our wedding was, we literally had an area where it was like a circle of Christmas trees that you can walk in and take pictures and stuff. It was dope, but we ended up keeping two of the trees, little mini tree,
Hmm.
and then no, I ended up not paying attention, kept like the biggest tree out of all of them.
God.
So we have a 9 foot tree that we live in an apartment, and I think our ceilings are only like maybe 8 feet tall.
Okay.
So it's like curved, like kind of like
Like a
the
Grinch.
Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love that thing.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
funny.
funny.
I don't even think I have like 8 foot ceilings here either. I think it's right at 8 foot. I don't think I have anything 9 foot. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe in the living room. But
and that's pretty funny though because it's just like curved at the tip.
that's super funny. But it's
Yeah,
y'all and it's cool. It's unique. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So let's get into Halloween.
Fuck.
I really want to start off with what's your go-to horror movie for this year?
I think it's a good classic. One of my favorite horror movies in terms of the Halloween season is a movie called Trick or Treat. Um, it's
Okay,
Trick, Trick,
is there a jack o' lantern on the cover
There
of it?
is. It's like a little
Okay,
jack o' lantern. If you've never seen
yeah.
it, it's honestly one of my favorites ever. To be honest with
Hmm.
you, I can give you just like a little rundown of it too. So Trick or Treat came out in 2007. Just so you
Okay.
have recommend. So it's pretty old,
Hmm.
which hurts me also. Um, but yeah, no, it was also kind of done by. It's got so just it has 83% Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn.
Um, and let's see where the audience score is at. Just curious. Yeah, that's funny. The popcorn meter, the audience didn't like it as much as
The critics?
the critics did. It's got an 83%
Really?
on Rotten Tomatoes and a 72% on the popcorn meter, which is kind of crazy.
But
But no,
to be
don't listen to
fair, horror movies always get rated poorly.
yeah, don't listen to that. It's a great time. Like, and I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil anything, but think of it as like almost like an anthology series. And it's one
Okay.
movie, but there are a bunch of different stories that all kind of eventually come
I
together.
am. Okay.
So if you've never seen it, it's a great time. They're the
Hmm.
same people that did the Krampus movie.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so
Okay.
that's always like it's my go-to. And then
Yeah.
really Halloween is also another one of those holidays for me because I like scary movies all year round. So
Yeah.
Halloween's kind of special to me because I like Halloween movies.
Hmm.
So I'm a huge fan, obviously, of the original Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
Big time. Go watch Hocus Pocus if you've never seen the first.
Yes.
Don't watch the second one, please.
Second one was weird.
It wasn't good. It was bad. It was a bad movie. The music was good, but the movie was bad.
Yeah.
Always Nightmare Before Christmas because we're moving into the next
That's the
season.
best one. That's the best
Which
one.
is it a Halloween movie? Is it a Christmas movie? The answer is yes.
It's
Like
both.
the answer is both. It's both. It is, and so there's that. There's so many good ones. Like you have lots of obviously the original Halloween, and if you want to go through that whole series, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
Some of them are really bad. They're
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
Some of them are really fun. Like Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. Honestly, perfect to me. Like the
Okay.
OGs from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Worth watching.
Okay.
Classic Jamie Lee Curtis, like, but just as
Yeah.
she was starting her role in her life, like that's a super fun time. So, personally
Mm-hmm.
recommend that. I think it's a good vibe. And then, I guess the last one that I would recommend is the Fear Street series on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Part 1's okay. Part 2 and Part 3, fantastic.
Yeah.
Like Part 2 is my favorite. Honestly, it's
I
so good.
remember you told me about that one, and I ended up watching them, and I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, Fear Street's a
Yeah.
great time. It'll get you in like the Halloween mood.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Gotta love the classics.
Gotta
Any of
love the
those,
class.
like the Great Pumpkin, any of the old Cartoon Network holiday specials. So like Ed, and Eddie, Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, like all those Halloween
Are you a
specials. Scooby Doo.
Simpsons
Huh?
Treehouse of Horror fan?
I love. I used to read the Treehouse of Horror comics like religiously.
Oh, nice. I
Like,
didn't know they had
they have
comics.
comic series, and it's a great comic series. I don't know if we've ever talked about it because I was not allowed to watch Simpsons when I was younger. It was one
Okay.
of those shows that I was not allowed to watch, and then
Uh-huh.
eventually I grew into other shows like Family Guy and South Park, and they just never came back to The Simpsons.
Okay.
So The Simpsons, I have a nostalgia with the
The comic.
old Butterfinger and Burger King commercials, and
Uh-huh.
then with the comics.
Okay.
So I have like a love for those in particular that I hold close to my heart because that's how I was able to take in my Simpsons.
Nice.
But that's I
Okay.
never, so I have seen my fair share of Treehouse of Horror episodes, but
Uh-huh.
I do want to restart from the beginning and go through the Simpsons all the way through at some
Dude,
point.
that's one thing I've been enjoying with all these streaming services, especially since Disney bought everything. I've literally watched through all the South Park episodes from the beginning to the most recent. I've watched all the Archer episodes,
Hmm.
all the Bob's Burgers. I'm like halfway through Family Guy and
Okay.
halfway through The Simpsons. Yeah,
See, Simpsons, that's a drudge.
that's a
It's just
lot
so
to go
long.
through. Yeah,
Well, because it has more episodes than One Piece, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I did get through One Piece. I'm currently caught up. I went through all 1,100 episodes of One Piece.
Holy crap!
That's been a year venture.
Yeah,
I know you're not a huge anime guy, but I would say it's probably one of the greatest TV shows of all time. I'm just
really?
that guy. I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna tell you that. Like you haven't watched it, I recommend
Uh-huh.
just give it a try. Watch it in English, like if
Okay.
you don't want to watch it in Japanese, and then just
Uh-huh.
go through at least the Arlong Park arc.
Okay.
If you don't like it to that point, it's not going to be for you.
Okay.
But if you like it past that level, then you're in for a really, really good ride because it's one of the
Okay.
best stories about pirates and adventure that like is on TV.
Really?
And it's still, and right now you're in the middle, like as you're watching this, it's going into a 6 month hiatus
Oh
to catch
crap!
up to because the manga is going to keep going, but the anime is taking a 6 month break. So if you wanted to get caught up, it's the perfect time to do it.
What's the time to do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So highly recommend. I know, like I said, not. I think you like Dragon Ball and stuff, right? Back when you were
Hmm.
younger. So
Yeah.
yeah, One Piece.
I like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, you like Naruto.
I love Naruto.
So think
Yeah.
Naruto, Dragon Ball, that kind of line in terms of it's very funny, it's very silly,
Okay.
but it's also very serious at the same time. As soon as you get deeper into the story,
Okay.
and it's one of the best rides I've been watching anime for
Yeah.
years and years and years. But not to stray away from Halloween again, but it's one of the best rides ever. And technically, there's a Halloween arc.
Is there?
There's like a Tim Burton-esque arc called Thriller Bark, which is a
Oh,
really fun ride
nice.
too.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Dude, Tim Burton. Probably one of my favorite like directors and animators.
Well, you have some really good movies. You have The Corpse Bride. You have, of course, Night Before Christmas.
Mhm.
Classics like what was I gonna?
Edward Scissorhands,
Edward Scissorhands, Sleepy
Beetlejuice,
Hollow. Yeah,
Sleepy Hollow.
yeah. This is some like it's like
Yeah,
legitimately classic. Tim Burton has just a really cool aesthetic.
yeah.
To a lot of
There's
stuff.
some. Yeah, I love the aesthetic of all his movies.
I did like that Wendell movie that he did too. That was the.
Wendell?
It was a movie with Key and Peele where they're two little demons.
Oh,
Uh,
really? I don't think
yeah,
I've ever seen that one.
people didn't really like it, but I liked it. I thought it was very enjoyable.
No.
It was a fun time, and it was
Was
like
it funny?
classic. Yeah, and it was like classic clay animation. It's a good time.
Oh, nice, dude. I appreciate that clay animation so much, just because I realized like how hard it fucking is to
Yeah,
do. That I love watching clay animation movies when done right.
yeah, for sure.
Because I've seen some horrible ones too.
So, what about you, by the way? Like, what are some of your kind of like key Halloween movies, TV shows? Like,
So
what does that go to?
since I work from home, I've been watching a lot of horror movies.
Okay,
Like literally, that's playing on the side or in the background. um, I watched The Shining recently, and I really appreciated it watching it again.
yeah.
But I also really hate how how drug out it is.
Oh yeah, it's a
Um,
long movie. It's a really long
yeah,
movie.
yeah. But
I
I
think that
really
was
enjoyed it.
I think that was an issue a lot with the '80s, generally speaking. As I feel like the '80s, especially in terms of like horror movies or kind of artsy films, they all had really bad pacing issues.
They took so long to
To
build
get to
up.
their point, yeah. Even
Yeah,
like Jurassic Park, like if you watch the original Jurassic Park,
yeah.
it's a slow burn for like the first hour until
Hmm.
you start to really get into the action.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed The Shining. I don't think I'd call it my go to movie. I really enjoyed the Scream movies, like as a whole
I
series. Scream was so good, so good. You know,
actually bought some workout shorts recently that have Ghostface on them.
nice.
Yeah, from
Oh
Shein.
yeah, I bet.
To go back to that, yeah, back in the Sheen vibes.
That's hilarious. But yeah, no, I think for sure Scream. I like more psychological thrillers and stuff, so
Uh,
I would say Paranormal Activity. Actually, no, no, scratch that. Anything that has to do with Hereditary, Insidious, and the whole um Conjuring universe.
did you ever
I,
watch
I,
Midsummer?
Midsummer, yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. That
I
was
was
a
like, if
slow
you liked
burn.
Hereditary, it's the same director.
Yeah,
It's a kind of a slow burn, but man, it pays off.
yeah,
It pays off.
yeah.
So,
It
if
pays
you're
off
a horror
so
nut,
much.
like man, ooh, love
And
Midsummer.
I've come to realize, like, I think those are my favorite kind of horror movies. Is
Uh
a
huh.
psychological, slow burn thriller, but that really has like a what the fuck moment at the
Well,
end.
Smile's supposed to be pretty good too. I've always heard that first movie, Smile movie's good, but Smile 2 I've heard is also really good. Just came
Really,
out.
I loved Smile until we saw the monster.
Okay. I haven't
The,
seen it, so I
okay,
yeah, I'm getting ready to go through that rabbit hole because I want to see the second movie.
yes, yes.
Um,
The first one was great, but once I saw the monster, it kind of like
yeah,
ruined it for me a little bit. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it ruined it for me a little bit.
yeah. That's how I felt about the
Um,
Ritual.
the
So
ritual, yeah.
it's a great movie, but once you see the monster, you're kind of like stupid CGI.
Actually, you know which movie I really enjoy and I love watching it because it's such a like it really screws with your mind.
Hmm.
Oh, what's it called? It's about some Buddhist like cult.
Hmm.
Oh, I gotta find it because it's really good, and it's kind of like a home video kind of movie.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's like all like POV cams and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out what the name of it is.
What's it called? Yeah, think about it, and then I would also recommend if you've never seen it. Have you ever seen Midnight Mass?
Yes, I absolutely love that show when it was out.
Okay, it's also
Yeah,
one of the most accurate depictions of the Catholicism like I've ever seen,
yeah, yeah. Very, very accurate.
which is crazy. And then it just goes in a whole other direction. For those who haven't
Yeah,
seen it, I won't spoil it. But watch Midnight Mass if you've never seen
yeah.
it.
No, that one was really good. And you know what I loved about that is that so I always joke that I was in a cult as a kid, right?
Hmm.
Especially when I lived here in Texas, because my parents were ultra religious at one point, and they were in this church group that literally ran like a cult within the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
And I always joke about it because when I was watching Midnight Mass, me and my wife were dating at the time, and I was like, "Oh my god, these people are just like the people we had to deal with when we were in church." Like it was really funny and really relatable on my end.
Yeah, they weren't La Luz del Mundo people, were they?
No, which have you seen that
That,
documentary
no, but that is I see them all the time. They have them in a bunch of La Luz del Mundos. I live right by the one, like that you
on
drive
45?
down on 45. Yeah, I pass it all the time going downtown.
Bro, okay, you got to watch the documentary on Netflix.
Okay, is
That
that
is
deal with that one
crazy.
there? That location there?
It's based on that one, yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah,
the
because they
three
have
other
that
churches
one.
they have.
There's one in going down like I-10 and 90 when you get
Uh-huh.
into I think it's Uvalde. Like
Okay.
when you get into Uvalde, there's one, and then there's also one in right in Luling as you're going into San Marcos. So there's like a
Okay.
bunch, they hit a lot of the small towns too. You just see,
Yeah.
like, but they don't partner as La Luz del Mundo. They partner as Light of the World. Like
Okay. No,
so
no,
they
but
market it differently in the small towns.
that's
Yeah,
smart.
yeah, yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
La Luz del Mundo, dude, I didn't know this. Like, they're tied to. They have a church in Mexico,
mhm.
and then a church in LA, and then the big one here in Houston.
That's
Those are
crazy.
like the three mega churches that are all tied together. They're all
That's
ran by
crazy.
the same guy, and it's pretty wild. You gotta watch the
Well,
documentary.
he's in a lot of yeah. We'll talk about that like another time. But
Yeah,
um, yeah. Tell me more about some of the other horror ones you can think of. I don't know if that helped you think of some things.
it kind of threw me on a tangent, but I'm trying to find the name of this movie. But no, I like psychological thrillers. So like Moth
Uh
was a fun one.
huh.
It was a fun ride. I don't know if you've ever seen that
Ma.
one.
Hey, Ma. What's her name? What's the lead character of the back? Like, she's like in a bunch of movies. She's like a great
Yeah, I forget
actress.
her name. She's usually in comedies.
Yeah, she's in
Yeah,
comedies or she's like in serious movies too. Like, I think she was in 12 Years a Slave.
yeah.
She was in one of those movies. Like, but she's like no, no, no. She was in the one with the all the women that I don't remember. I don't remember. It's one of those movies, but yeah, she's always like really really talented.
Yeah, yeah. She's in isn't she in The Color Purple?
We're gonna get ourselves in
Yeah.
trouble.
Okay, but
Hold on
I
one
found
second.
out. I found out the movie I was talking about. It's called Incantation. She's in one of those. But yeah, Incantation. Have you ever seen that movie?
Um, no, I have not. Is it good?
Bro, that movie is a hell of a ride. It's a hell
Octavia
of a
Spencer,
ride.
by the way.
Huh?
Octavia Spencer,
That's her name. Okay, yeah.
and she was in Hidden Figures, The Help.
The
Um,
Help is what I was thinking of. That's the
she was in
movie.
Witches, which actually was a fun movie. Onward, The Shape of the Water, Zootopia. Trying
Oh,
to
I didn't
find
know she
any
was a
of those
voice.
12 Years a Slave or any of the other movies we mentioned. I don't think we
No, I bet The Help. She's on the cover of one of them, which
did.
was The Help. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also in Halloween too. Um,
Okay.
so interesting. And anyways, we'll just gloss over that one.
But yeah, I'll cut that part out.
God. Okay, well, that just got the weekly canceled again. Good thing I'm not on the show anymore.
No, but yeah, dude, Incantation was a really good one. I highly recommend it. If you have Netflix, it's
Yeah,
about like a Buddhist cult. It's pretty wild.
that
It's
sounds
pretty
fun.
good.
I'll check it
Yeah.
out. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll also personally recommend if you've never seen them, um, don't watch the first Ouija, but watch the second Ouija Origin of Evil.
I've seen them.
That one's
Yeah.
really good. And then Annabelle, don't watch the first Annabelle or the third Annabelle, but watch the
Creation.
second Annabelle, Annabelle Creation. Yeah,
Yeah, that one's really good
the
too.
the first one and the third one don't matter. They're not important. Like same thing with the
Yeah.
word Ouija. Like, you don't need to watch the first Ouija. It fucking sucks. But
How how'd you feel about the Nun?
I thought it sucked.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie to you.
I fell asleep every time I tried to
And
watch it. I fell
I fell
asleep.
asleep through it, and I was like, Yvonne, how was it? And she was like, it sucked.
Yep.
It made me mad. I did hear the second one was better. I heard the second one was an improvement. But I heard the first one
Still wasn't great.
was cheeks. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Have
Um,
you seen the Sydney Sweeney movie Immaculate?
Sydney Sweeney Body Wash Genie, you mean?
Yeah. Dr. Squatch.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
sponsored by them now, by the way.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Hell yeah! Finally happened.
it
I
finally happened, dude.
I use Dr. Squatch like freaking regularly, man. I love
I
this
do
stuff.
too. I even got the chapstick now. I
But
really
no,
have.
I have not seen that Sydney Sweeney movie. What movie is it?
It's called Immaculate, where she's like a nun. Not a nun. Yeah, a nun, and she gets impregnated.
No, I've only seen like Euphoria. Well, I've seen certain clips from Euphoria, and then
I'm not allowed to watch that show.
for research purposes. And then I've seen yeah, bring that one back for research purposes. But I've also seen there's that comedy that she did with the guy at Twisters.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Uh, what's his name? I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I
But
don't know.
watch
My wife
Twisters
was
also.
obsessed with
But
them.
there's a movie that she does that's like like a romantic comedy. That's a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. No,
So
she did the movie Immaculate where she conceives through immaculate conception,
interesting.
but it's the devil. Bum, bum, bum.
But is she good? Is she a good actress in that? I feel like
She did a great job.
Sydney Sweeney's also always just like super hit or miss. Like I feel like she's got this like I'm like, is she a bad actor? But she is kind of hot. Like she's kind of not the greatest actress.
Right. No, but she did really good. Like she did a great job. The movie wasn't all that great. The storyline kind of it had some plot holes. Like that could have been better.
Yeah.
It was
No.
kind of like
Yeah.
the screenplay that I wrote with Chris. I don't know. If I told you.
No.
So we discovered ChatGPT and we discovered how to use it very efficiently to write things for
Don't make a
us.
screenplay.
We wrote a screenplay called Latex. Do you want to know more?
No. No. That's okay. I appreciate
Tell you the
that.
synopsis of it.
You can tell me the synopsis. Is it?
It is a horror movie that we wrote.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's a slasher film, indie slasher style. Or the main character, his name's Bowen. He's a guy in college that can't get laid.
Uh-huh.
And he gets bullied, and he gets tricked by some girl that made him think he was gonna get laid, and he becomes a serial killer.
Mm.
And his MO is when they're not watching, he chokes them with the collar, suffocates them. And then he leaves a magnum on the floor as his calling card.
That's so stupid. I do have an alternate idea potentially. Instead of him doing that, what if he's killed when he's being bullied by the latex condom they put over his face? And so he's like, then he's like a kind of like a Jason or like
a Jason,
where he's like alive, but you just see him when you look at him and you see him like through the door, you just see his breath as he's like breathing in, like from that you just see the, which could be like super freaking scary. Yeah, but then you can make a bunch of like gag jokes where they try to like drown him, like they stick like a hose up there and like try to drown him in there, and he's undead. So die. Or stupid things like that. Like, I'm just
saying, like it's a work in progress. We're still working on it. I'm trying to get it good enough to where we can have like a round table walkthrough of it, like a reading.
If you ever need an actor, you hit me up.
Oh, I'll definitely hit you up because it's actually so funny because it's so ridiculous. I think it'd be a great indie horror film.
Jesus. I mean, that's up there with like Teeth.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
We're going for the same niche. That movie is terrifying, by the way. Like legitimately terrifying. That movie scarred me as a kid when
Teeth, Tusk, Human Centipede.
Oh, the Human Centipede. Oh. You know how you have impulses? You know how you're impulsive? I am also very impulsive. And I also have this thing where if I start a series, I have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I try not to get into TV shows. Because even if I hate the show, I'm going to finish it. Human Centipede was one of those.
Yeah, hell no.
Well, I watched the first one, and I ended up like 3 movies deep, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, impulse.
What do you call it? No, well, start One Piece. Then you'll be busy for like a while. You won't have anything else to watch in your life,
right?
Like you'll be good to go. Like you'll just have everything you need.
Next time you see me, I'm like, "Oh, I saw it all."
You're like, I watched the entire thing. It is the best show ever. What's gonna happen? You're gonna be like, this is the greatest show of all time.
Yep.
But
But yeah,
okay, interesting. Yeah, well, we got some Halloween stuff in there. What do you think of who's your current favorite recent Halloween antagonist? Like your or current like horror villain antagonist. There's been some new ones that have popped up.
there
One
has been.
being, a gentleman by the name of Art the Clown.
Dude, I can't watch those movies.
No, not
I
a Terrifier
try.
fan.
It's not even the gore that gets me. It's just that there's no plot line.
The second and third movie have plots.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
watched the first one and I was I
The
I'm
plot
R
is that
worded.
there is no plot.
Let me put it this way: I'm R worded, right? Like
Uh,
my brain needs to be entertained. If not, like the gore just doesn't do it for me.
mhm.
So I couldn't get. I watched all of Terrifier, like the first one, but I couldn't.
Watch the second one. You might have a
Okay,
different opinion.
okay. We also
Cody
have we.
Cody Dowell, who's been on the show a few times, that
Uh,
fucking hates that show. He religiously hates Terrifier. But I
why
think he's
is
a really cool like new age like icon.
slasher?
I think at this point he's probably deserved a horror icon.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's one of the best selling costumes too.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
Like, and he's spooky. Also, not a horror icon, but they're very interesting. Is the Winnie the Pooh blood and
The
honey
Winnie the Pooh
characters?
ones?
They're fucking
Yeah.
nuts, dude.
Dude, there's a Mickey Mouse one now.
Is there?
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it because I want to watch it.
I wish
I
I
just
had
want to
that
hear.
one. Have you seen that other guy from Brazil who does the Mickey Mouse hot dog song? And he like dances to. I'll have to find it for you. It's controversial, but it's it's fucking hilarious. Hot dog. Bum, 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 bum. It
What do
also
you
looks
think
like a horror movie.
of Maxine?
Um,
She's also the new
I
slasher
have not seen
icon.
Maxine yet, but I have seen the first two movies, um, Pearl, and I saw the X Triple X. I think is what it's
Okay,
called. Both
oh, it's called
fantastic.
X.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was called X. They're both awesome. Well, I'm also a fan of Jenna Ortega. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
and
I was confused the first one. I'm not gonna lie.
well, they
Like,
kind of Pearl helped, I think, kind of round things out a little bit,
yeah,
see where things were gonna go.
yeah,
How is Maxine? Did you think it was good?
I liked it. I liked it. It had it. It was entertaining. It was a good ride,
Yeah.
and I really liked the ending of it.
Well, I know it involves Richard Ramirez as well, kind of in the
Yeah.
background, but I don't know if that's going to be tell a big part of the story or not.
Well,
But I know
I
that's
don't
how
want to ruin it for
they
you, but he is part of the movie to an extent.
figured that bitch. She's a little smelly man.
Hmm.
Um, but okay, I'll have to watch it. I need to
Yeah.
get back into that kind of stuff. Okay. Any
Uh,
other ones you can think of that you're like into, like in terms of like icon?
I mean, Jigsaw was always a great one. Saw,
I
but
agree. I agree with that.
that's kind of. I think it's ran its course.
And Chucky's finally on his way out. They canceled his TV series.
It was just terrible.
A
Did
lot
you
of
like
people
it?
loved it. A lot of people love that series.
Did you watch it though?
No,
I
no.
watched. I watched it. I was not a fan. It was
It's
one of
mostly
those
a
where like,
comedy, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's more of a comedy than it is anything else.
yeah, yeah. It was. It had some good episodes, but some of them were just like drawn out.
Okay.
Like, yeah, there's filler for sure in there.
Okay. All right.
Um,
I do
let's see.
recommend Trick or Treat again because I think he's also a little horror icon.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main like you'll see the pumpkin kid with the
Hmm.
bag over his head. Kid's interesting.
Okay.
Kid's interesting.
I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah. It's a good time. It's a good Halloween romp. Like you'll have fun with
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Um.
Let's see what other horror icons. I mean, the monster from Insidious, the demon.
He's fun. The one that looks kind of like him from Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Looks like
He also looks like he's
Darth
singing
Maul.
hot. He also looks like he's singing hot dog, bum, 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 hot dog. Yeah.
Let's see what other great icons are there.
And
I
there's
mean, Ghostface is still relevant. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Have you seen the new one?
No,
I have not either.
I've been out of the loop on a lot of movies recently. Like I have been watching One Piece, Only Murders in the Building, and that's pretty much been my life. And random episodes of Black Clover.
Yeah.
It's my go-to.
I think I have the AMC membership,
Uh-huh.
And also, if you invest into AMC and you get the AMC membership, you get extra perks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I'm gonna start going. I mean, every Tuesday is like I think it's like $8 tickets,
We
so
have
cheaper than
the
that.
Cinemark Rewards Club app where you get
Uh,
one one ticket a month, and it does roll
uh,
over, which is pretty cool. So we
ooh,
usually
nice,
every other month, Yvonne and I will go watch a movie.
very nice.
Like we've seen like Godzilla minus one doing that. We've seen Yvonne wants to go see Wicked, so we'll probably go see Wicked.
I'm probably gonna watch Wicked
And
too.
it was either Wicked or Beetlejuice. Um,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, like we like utilizing that because it definitely. And I've gone myself and gone and seen like movies. I forget what I watched a horror movie at recent. It was I don't remember which one it was though. I can't
Mm-hmm.
for the life of me remember. But I went recently by myself to go and like
Yeah,
see a movie.
yeah. I need to do that. I haven't done that since Nadia left, and I love going to the movies. Like when she's here, we go like every week because it's $8 tickets and discounts on everything.
Bro, going by yourself rules though. I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing better than going to the movies by yourself when you're old.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
legit.
I
Like
used to
I don't
do it
know,
when I was young, dude. that
bro.
was
I
my
used to get
favorite
self
thing.
conscious about it because,
Yeah.
but now I don't give a shit. Like okay, like I'm going to see a movie. Like, what of it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going. I'm going there to have a good time.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
mean,
Yvonne doesn't want to watch the movie I want to watch, so I'm gonna go
yeah.
see it myself. Like I want to watch it in theaters, so I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a movie I really want to see in theaters, like I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I love going to the movies though. Like I love the surround sound, the big old TV the screen. Like that for me makes it worth going to the movies. So
Especially for
I
a
go.
scary movie. I feel like a good scary.
Yes.
If it's a good scary movie, it's a blast to go and see it because the crowd, the audience,
You
like
all
the
get into it.
ambiance, like the popcorn, like it just fits so well.
Dude, you know what I think would be cool is to see like a scary movie in 4DX.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Like if they add some fog into the theater.
Poltergeist would probably be really dope in 40x.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, like OG Poltergeist, like that would be
yeah.
a lot of fun because all the wind, Twisters, like I'm
Mhm.
sure was a lot of fun in 40x too. But like that's what I'm thinking in my head, like Twisters with like
Yeah.
things and like getting cold, like that'd be cool too. Like you just hit like when they're talking about like seeing hearing ghosts and stuff like that, it actually gets cold in the theater for like a second
Yeah.
where you can see your breath.
You
That'd
feel the wind hitting you. They let some fog in there, so like the floor is foggy.
yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I think I'd like that a lot.
I think 40X needs to hire me as their idea guy.
Yeah,
I'm like, hear me out.
you're like, yeah, please, please. So what else we got? What else we got in this list?
All right.
I can no
Well,
longer look at them because my phone's here.
oh, you're good. You're good. I say like we've gone pretty long. It's an hour and a half already. I
Mm-hmm.
say we end this with a top 5 Halloween candies.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we'll go back and forth, and we'll take
Should we
turns.
go at should we start from number 5 and then go up?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All
You
right.
go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so my number 5, and I'm gonna get hate for this, is an almond joy.
Ew.
I
Yeah, like almond joy. Um,
love almond joys. They're like
that's
what is it called? A guilty pleasure?
yeah. I don't tend to like anything coconut, like candy
No.
wise. I actually love
Okay.
coconut, like coconut, like
Mhm.
raspas and stuff like that too. Like always, 100%.
Yeah.
But like fucking Chico sticks and almond joy, like I hate them. I hate them.
Well, I grew up eating coconut macaroons.
Uh huh.
In Mexico, they call them cocadas.
Uh huh.
So like I love that flavor and texture.
Interesting. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Okay. I would say probably one of my like number 5, the one that I'm always happy to see. I would actually go with sweet tarts.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
sweet. I love finding those little tiny packs of sweet tarts in my like candy bag when I was a kid.
The pill ones or the
No, no. Yeah, like the little pill ones. Yeah, little sweet
yeah
tarts.
yeah yeah yeah.
Yeah, those are my favorite. Like I loved finding those in my little bag.
Okay. Okay. I was a fan of them. They tasted kind of chalky to me, but I
That's my
fuck with
go-to.
them.
I loved the tartness of everything, but
Yeah.
I didn't mind the chalky flavor to it.
Okay.
It didn't
Okay.
bug me.
Okay. Okay. I like that one. Okay. My number 4 would be Fun Dip. Because as a kid, when you got that Fun Dip,
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
No, that's really good. I love Fun Dip. I still love Fun Dip because I'm a child. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, let's see. I would say number 4 would probably actually go to, believe it or not, like one of my favorite things to get was, and this is probably another thing that'll just show who I am as a person. I like warheads. I liked finding warheads as well.
You like the sour?
I like sour, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not going to be my whole list. There's a couple that, of course, I think take top tier.
Do you feel as an adult that they changed the warhead formula?
Yeah, it's not as sour.
Right?
It's
I'm
not as
not the only one. It's a lot sweeter than they used to be, right?
Yeah, they're a little, and they get sweeter faster. Like, you get that
Yeah.
first rush, but they're not as like the ones that taste legitimately the same as they did when they were, and like haven't changed, are like the double bubble, like super
Hmm.
sour gums that you can find at like the dollar store, like
Yeah, yeah.
the packages. Those taste exactly the same as they did.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, those are awesome. I still get
Okay.
those.
Okay, so warheads. Okay. Oof. This is making my list hard. I gotta really think now.
I think
We're on
Fun Dip
number
was a good, like that. Like I Fun Dip was a good choice. I don't know about Almond Joy.
one
Couldn't say.
different solid. Yeah. Okay. Number three. Oh, number three already. Fuck, that came by quick. I'm gonna do Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers are a great choice. For number 3, I think I'd actually go Hershey's chocolates. It's
Oh,
like
the
a
classic.
classic Hershey chocolate.
Yeah.
Like those are like always awesome, and it would always be bonus points if you get a cookies and cream one.
Oh, those are the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Love cookies and
Oh yeah,
cream.
I remember when Shahid, back in high school, used to
Uh-huh.
sell candy to try and like hustle money, and
Yeah.
he'd always have like the cookies and cream Hershey's on.
Those are the best. I genuinely think those are my favorite chocolates. Is the cookies and cream ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Crap. We're on number two already. This list went quick.
yeah.
Over here thinking dum dums, but dum dums are nowhere near a number two spot.
No.
Uh, let's see. Number two. Okay, number two, number two, number two, number two. I'm trying to think Halloween candy right now. Starburst.
Okay. Okay.
Starburst. Pink ones specifically.
I think that's a great choice. Okay. Let me think. Yeah, it's getting hard for me too. Like,
Yeah.
so don't worry. Have to give it to Butterfinger.
Oh,
Love getting a good Butterfinger as number
yeah.
2. Like,
Yeah.
this feels super accurate too. Again, Simpsons. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, I loved the Butterfinger commercials.
Butterfinger.
Butterfingers, as well as the old icy commercials for Burger King when they did the black ices. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Dude, talking about meals influenced by cartoons and stuff. Have you tried the Krabby Patty from
No,
Wendy's?
absolutely the fuck not.
You
No.
don't fuck with Wendy's?
I love SpongeBob, and I don't
Uh-huh.
want that to be ruined. I don't want that idea of what it could taste like to be ruined. I'm sure it's
You know,
delicious.
if it's not made out of crab meat, I don't want it. But I'm still gonna go try it.
I really hope that that's one day they say that's what it's made of.
Yeah, that's a secret formula. It's crab.
Yeah. Well, then isn't that what they said? Like I think the last time they did it was like plankton, like plankton
Yeah, yeah,
was made, and he like ran off. It's super funny.
yeah. That's right. He freaks out and runs off.
Speaking of that, classic SpongeBob hash slinging slasher, as well as the Halloween episode where
Halloween,
they
greatest
trim him
Halloween.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, when they shave him,
Yeah, they
and
shave
he's
him
just a
down.
brain
He's just brain with eyes.
and his clogs.
Yeah, it's super fucking funny.
Tail loves SpongeBob. I can't believe he
Super,
turned 25.
it's super exciting. I makes me happy. It makes me happy, Steven. Like sad Steven Hillenburg's passed, but happy to see like the majority of all the SpongeBob cast is still around.
Yeah.
With the exception of like Mermaid Man and like
Mermaid Man and
I think
Barnacle.
Mrs. Puff's even still around. Like she's
Is
still
she?
there too. Yeah. So like
Oh,
there's the majority of the cast is still kind of alive and kicking and
yeah.
older.
Evil.
Tom Kenny classic,
Yeah.
So what we got for number 1 for you?
Number one for me has to be the good old classic Reese's.
Bro, I was gonna say the same
Peanut
thing,
butter cup.
but except it's not the classic Reese's for me.
Are you doing pieces?
No, it's the ones that are shaped like pumpkins. They
Oh,
have
okay.
more peanut butter in them.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, can I
yeah,
modify mine to the big cup?
yes,
The
you can go
Reese's
to the big
big
cup.
cup. I love the big cup, dude.
Yeah, I lived in the hood, so I didn't get big cups of
I didn't
Reese's.
either. I mean, big cups were
We
went
were living
around when
great,
we
but
were
we weren't
kids,
getting the full candy bars.
right? We're getting the minis.
Yeah. But what did you call it? Yeah, no, I absolutely. That's my favorite is Reese's, the pumpkins one, the pumpkin one. I always look forward to
the
that, and then the eggs and Easter for the
the
same reason.
eggs. Yeah, yeah.
The Reese's peanut butter cup in the shape of eggs and the shape of pumpkins
You
because
know,
there's more peanut butter.
I still can't believe they got sued and whoever sued them won because the shapes weren't exact.
That's crazy. That doesn't surprise me. The class actions are real.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the one with Red Bull? Like it's the most famous one where
No.
Red Bull had a class action because it doesn't actually give you wings, so it's false advertising. So for you can look it up, and so for like I think like a year, once they lost the class action, they for like a certain amount of time, people
Uh-huh.
could go to the site and basically redeem a free can of Red Bull.
No way.
Yeah, and now it doesn't say it gives you wings, and then
Oh,
they
that's
do
pretty
that.
funny. I never realized
Yeah, yeah,
that's why. That's
totally.
like Applebee's. Applebee's got hit with the boneless wings.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, there's also the Starbucks one with the mango dragon fruit refresher because for a
Mhm.
long time it didn't actually have any mango in it, so
Ooh,
they got sued on a class action for that as well.
that's crazy. The
Yeah, and
shit
had to
people
change
think
their
of.
formula as a result to have mango.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
how people think I'm gonna sue over this. I'm gonna
Also,
sue.
go
You know
ahead.
what? I'm gonna start a class action against Wendy's for not serving real Krabby Patties.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's false advertising. Those are not real Krabby Patties. Um, I I will give an honorable mention, and people are going to hate me for this one. So your almond joy will probably be redeemed at this point.
Redeem.
Honorable mention to candy corn and those candy pumpkins, like the little tiny candy corn pumpkin looking ones
Mhm.
too. I personally, and I haven't always loved candy corn, but I liked it into my teens going into now. And
Okay.
I personally, it's like one
I
of my
like candy
favorite
corn.
like little snacks every once in a while because it kind of tastes
Yeah,
like chocolate. It's really what it's just the look that freaks people out. I think
it's
because it's like
caramel,
corn,
isn't it?
huh?
It's like a caramel.
Yeah, it's like a caramel. Like I think people
Yeah.
get turned off by like the look of it.
Hmm.
But it's like a chocolate, like or a caramel kind of flavor. Like they're
Yeah.
great. They have a weird they do have like an interesting texture, but like I think they're probably one of my like they're probably number 6 or 7. Like I enjoy having some candy corn.
Yeah.
Or like I said, the candy pumpkins that are like in the same kind of realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it'd be Dum Dums. I
Dum Dums are
hated how they
great.
got stuck on my teeth, but I love those little Dum Dum gel, like gummy candies,
Mm-hmm.
the gel
Well,
drops.
did you have oh, you mean I
Oh,
thought you were talking about
dots,
dots.
dots.
You do dots. Oh, so I thought you were talking about dum dums like the lollipops.
Oh, those are good too.
Yeah, I was like, I was. What was your favorite Dum Dum flavor?
Mystery.
I was blue
No,
raspberry.
root beer. Root beer was my favorite.
Okay, I was blue
Yeah.
raspberry all the way. Like
Yeah.
to me, so much blueberry, so much so that I still drink the blueberry Red Bulls because they taste like blueberry Dum Dums.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll still drink those because they taste a lot like that. Whenever I'm feeling nostalgic. Well, every time I go into my small addictions to Red Bull,
Yeah.
which I've been working on again, cutting myself out. I was really good for a little while. I had no energy drinks for like a solid like year and a half,
Damn.
and then
Kudos to you, dude, because I literally drink an energy drink every day. And
oh
I
no,
know
I
it's
can't
not
do
the
that.
best thing.
I do. I try to like stay away from my pre workouts and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
Um, just and not drink them too much because I used to do like I was like a 2 Red Bull a day kid
Oh, shit. Yeah.
for a while, and I would get heart palps. So
Yeah, no, that's
not
not
doing
good.
it. So it's like an every once in a while thing. If I need it, I go grab one. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't really drink coffee, and
Okay.
I don't really drink like caffeinated soda either. I'm a Coke Zero and like diet Dr Pepper guy at this point.
Same. I love the Coke Zeros.
Yeah, yeah.
I like buying the little minis so I don't feel guilty for drinking it.
Only well because there's 0 calories. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
And there's other things that are terrible for you in it, but it's not as bad as like you know good old sugar.
Yep. Exactly. Another honorable mention I had was the Tootsie Rolls, but not the chocolate ones, like the different flavored ones.
Like the lime ones, the lime
Yeah.
sherbet one. Oh,
And
yeah.
the orange one.
Those are good. Those are real good. They were
Yeah.
like sherbet flavors. Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Those are the shit.
Yeah, those are
Uh,
fucking awesome.
Also, I guess last honorable mention from my side is not a candy. It's actually Tyson chicken wings, like the buffalo wings,
Uh-huh.
put in a crock pot and just like heat it up through the crock pot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
My family used to like make when we do Halloween parties. That's what they do. They just we didn't have like we didn't want to put them in the oven or anything like that because we had
Uh-huh.
making Chex Mix and all that other kind of stuff. So we would throw them in like the crock pot and let them kind of warm up in the crock pot. They
Uh-huh.
were like fully cooked anyway, and so they ended up
Yeah.
coming out like
Like
really soft,
saucy?
like really saucy and really soft, and they were freaking delicious.
Ooh, nice.
Highly
That sounds
recommend.
pretty good.
Highly recommend. Cooks it all the way
Yeah.
through, like delicious.
Hell yeah, man.
So honorable
That's
mention goes to Tyson chicken wings.
Tyson chicken wings. And on that note, we're gonna end this episode because we're going a little long. It's
Yeah,
getting a little late.
that's what happens when you get two people with ADHD
Yeah.
like in one show together. We
And
just
then Boeing interrupting every
well, he's the third ADHD, but he has an advanced form of ADHD
Yeah.
and borderline autism.
Yeah.
I think me and him are both probably a little bit on the spectrum. No joke. Like
I'm sure we're all.
in all seriousness, like I think me and him
Oh,
probably lead on the
okay,
spectrum.
okay. Before we end it, did I ever tell you that my wife convinced everyone at my wedding that I had autism?
No, but that's
So during marriage prep, my wife would always joke with like the priest, the counselor, our like wedding sponsors and stuff that I was a little autistic. She would tell them that if we took a test and I came out autistic, which we took an online test and I was like on the borderline spectrum.
she like he's also my brother, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
No,
So she thought it was funny to tell everybody. Like she literally told the priest. The priest was convinced that she was doing like something super amazing, marrying an autistic guy.
good on you.
And during the wedding, like during the reception, people kept coming up to us and they're like, "Congratulations." They'll turn to my wife and be like, "Oh, bless your heart. You're such a sweetheart." And like I was like, the whole night, I was like, "Why do they keep saying that?" Then I realized she told every single person that wasn't directly related to me that I was autistic.
Meant that as a joke, but in reality, it was a well.
It was borderline true.
Well, I'm glad she's helping you out. Yeah,
Yeah. I kept getting, oh, bless your heart, and this and that. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
that's funny as fuck, honestly.
It was hilarious, dude. I think that was the best prank she's ever pulled on me.
Well, this has been fun. It's been a nice classic episode. I hope that people that used to like the vibes. I don't know if anybody actually missed my ramblings, but
I'm sure they missed you.
yeah,
We
I'm sure
missed
if they.
I missed you.
Yeah,
On the
I
podcast.
appreciate it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like it was nice to be able to talk and hang out for a little bit, and yeah, I'm glad to come on anytime.
For sure, man. I'll definitely reach out again. We'll see when we can get you back on.
Yeah, hit me up for
That's it.
random specials. I'm always down to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll hit you up for the Christmas one. One thing I've been wanting to do.
I can't go back to.
No. We're not drinking a lot.
The legend has been he's been retired.
Well, maybe we can do a Thanksgiving one.
Oh, the gobble gobble.
The gobble, yeah, the classic. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
and
sure.
Thank you to all the listeners for tuning in. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, 5-star review. Go like us on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, Be Able to Play Media YouTube channel. You can check us out on all social medias at the Weekly D Pod. You can follow me at Danny_G713. This has been the Weekly D Podcast. I'm your host, Danny G. That was special guest, Mr. Kyle Austin, the podcast legend.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir, for coming on. And remember, if you can't get it daily, get it weekly. Peace.
Peace.